оскільки Тетяна і її організація має цікавий досвід з цього питання.
I would like to introduce myself also in Russia. Я говорю по-русски, потому что я сама из Белоруссии. Да. Но я потом буду говорить по-английски, но почему хочу это вам сказать? Судьба такая, что мы познакомились с мужем, и я переехала в Словакию. Так что я работать начала в Словакии. Я в Белоруссии не знаю, что и как, но судьба такая, что после Чернобыля все-таки, поскольку родители там живут, знала об этой обстановке. И вот в последние годы у нас, благодаря международным проектам, получилась очень хорошая, плодотворная такая кооперация, сотрудничество с белорусами. А я, когда меня вот спросили девочки из вашей организации «Мама-86», чтобы я приехала к вам, я сказала, конечно. Я не знала, что это будет такой форум, такой большой, столько много специалистов, столько много из разных организаций, поэтому я хочу высказать вам большую-большую благодарность за возможность быть здесь, быть с вами и рассказать, какая ситуация у нас в Словакии и как мы боремся с нашими тоже каждодневными проблемами. Так что вот это просто для начала, а сейчас я буду говорить по-английски, потому что у меня все подготовлено. Хорошо? So, what about the situation in Slovakia regarding the emergency preparedness and response? And I would like to focus in my presentation on view from the technical support organization, because I'm working from the beginning at the Nuclear Power Plant Research Institute, which performed support as for Nuclear Regulatory Authority and also for nuclear power plants in the area of nuclear and emergency preparedness and response. You know that Slovakia is not a very big country. We are your neighbors. We have two nuclear sites there, Bohunice, which is on the left side, and on the right side, Mochovce nuclear power plant. There are two blocks at each nuclear power plant in Bohunice and Mochovce, and type is 440. And under commissioning, there is now other two blocks in Mochovce, and under decommissioning, there are two blocks at Bohunice NPP and two blocks of the oldest Czech project nuclear power plant in Bohunice. Regarding the human consequences of nuclear accidents and remediation, you know that it goes far beyond only doses and economic cost and dose reduction. There are social factors which influence the development and many others. There are different processes and methods of stakeholder engagement, and there are emergency preparedness, countermeasure evaluation, and real situation. And in Slovakia, we have an experience more with emergency preparedness and countermeasure evaluation. We had also consequences after Chernobyl accident in Slovakia, and there were countermeasures done, but not as in Norway. We had no long-lasting consequences, so we were happy of that. But in any case, we recognize that we have to work all together to be prepared for such kind of an accident. The main goal of the project of stakeholders' involvement, and when I am talking about stakeholders, I am not only have in mind stakeholders at public or lay people, but all range of stakeholders. It means all organizations which are involved in emergency preparedness and response in all phases, not only emergency, but also recovery, because what we are doing in the emergency influence recovery phase, of course. And our main goal was to improve and strengthen the emergency and post-accident preparedness and recovery management. And the main interest was to motivate and share experience with other countries which are living all together within Europe region. To develop and apply methods and models of stakeholder engagement and participation to allow and support dialogue. This was also our maybe greatest interest why we started this project process. Regarding the models which we used within the preparedness phase was models and tools testing, as you can hear from Mark Železniak. Also, you are developing or implementing RODO system. The same was in Fukushima, but or in Japan, but they were not discussing maybe these tools, these problems or scenarios with wider community. So we recognize that we have to involve or transform, implement these activities for wider range of stakeholders. Also, customization and use of these tools and models is very important. Case studies using scenarios developed have been developed and applied in Slovakia. Also, building network and trust between partners within the Slovak Republic and within the Europe of the European Commission projects we recognize as very important. Other methods or tools we used were facilitated workshops, exercises, seminars and training courses. And I will give you some details or some examples later on. Regarding the countermeasure evaluation, in the Slovak Republic, we have been actively involved with also stakeholders and with public in the Uranos project when handbooks user group have been established, and we participated in the network involved in development of the Uranos handbook for assisting in the management of contaminated inhabited areas, food production systems and drinking water. There were the origin of our activities or the possibility how to realize these goals was that time starting from 1994, but more engaged activities took place in 2000-2003. We have been participating more actively in the international projects, and these projects basis was really critical for us, because it was very difficult to engage different organizations involved in emergency preparedness to communicate openly among them, not only with public, but there were difficulties also among all these organizations involved. They have been discussed, for example, nuclear power plants, nuclear regulatory authority, but less involved were organizations or different offices from public health organization and so on. So we recognize that even at this level, horizontal level, we have to establish some methods for better communication among these people. And focus was given to management of contaminated inhabited areas, contaminated food production systems, drinking water supply, also principles of withdrawal of emergency countermeasures. Also, stakeholder involvement and engagement was a very big goal for us. Communication, post-accident policy. We recognize, for example, that regarding the recovery and post-accident policy, we have very thin legislation, and we have no accurate guidance or any principles, and so we recognize that we have to start discussion about this. We cannot say that as for example, after Chernobyl, if such big accident happens, we will have time to deal with long-lasting countermeasures or later countermeasures. We recognize that we have to be prepared also for that. And it will not be done without people, without public, only when we say, okay, we are going to do that. It needs time, even within the emergency preparation phase. You can see here all organizations which were involved in our activities. There are different authorities, but also research institutes, hydrometeorological institute, all organizations involved in monitoring. And what was very nice, there were also involved majors of villages which are situated near nuclear power plants, who are members of the group of European municipalities with nuclear facilities and a National Association of Municipalities and Local Regional Civic Information Commissions, something very similar to those which Jill discussed or informed in previous presentation. Regarding the procedures, we used and continue to use education seminars, facilitated workshops and tabletop exercises, topical workshops, training courses of emergency staff. Also includes in national and international exercises, emergency response organization and all municipalities involved. We are conducting international exercises and involving also public within the international projects. We are using also modeling and calculation tools, as already mentioned, RODOS system and also some national one. And also we are using the handbooks for assisting in the management of contaminated inhabited areas, food production systems and drinking water. And also the HYPER system is hierarchical preference analysis and the worldwide web, which help in recognizes all other factors influencing decision and which helps to make the process of decision making more transparent. So you can see there, for example, during using this tool at the workshop, that not only doses are influencing your decision, but also there are social factors, political factors. And when discussing this question, it was very important really to start to think about this, how this could influence your decision. Not only say that, okay, when we are going to evacuate, it will be done, or to use calcium, iodine tablets, iodine prophylaxis, we will do it immediately. You can write it in your plans that immediately, but in reality, many factors could influence this, and it will not be the case. Regarding our legislation or our structure, you can see here that it is in some sense very similar to yours. In our case, but it starts with major of the city or municipality or village who is responsible for the accident if it remains in the area of his responsibility. If accident is going far, then head of district is responsible for event inside his or her district. Also, head of county or region is responsible if it lies in this region, and after all, government is responsible for events beyond one county borders, because there is need coordination of all other resources. All levels have crisis headquarters. Even at villages, they have crisis headquarters. So they have to be able to come together, have plans, prepare that plans, and communicate about this with public and with higher level of responsible organization within the responsible response organization. Also, crisis headquarters involve different experts, and they have rights to call experts to help them, also from other levels in structure. And all crisis headquarter members are obliged to participate in education, trainings, and exercises. So it goes from the legislation that they are obliged to do so. Here you can see the structure, how in case of an accident communication is going. You can see here that license holder is sending the information to Public Health Authority, under which there is a Radiation Monitoring Center and the Radiation Monitoring Network, then to Nuclear Regulatory Authority, also to Central Crisis Headquarters, its Ministry of Interior, under your legislation, Civil Protection Offices, which informs, or this information is going to government, while directly the county authority is informed, and municipalities immediately, as county authority has this information, is oblast in your case, they immediately communicate and inform municipalities within emergency planning zone. Regarding the Atomic Act and Decree on Emergency Preparedness, which are really going in many details regarding emergency response and preparedness, Nuclear Regulatory Authority, which is independent in case of the Slovak Republic, independent on government, they are responsible for performing an inspection of exercises, evaluation of the development and consequences of an incident or accident, and they are responsible for preparation of recommendations for measures. To fulfill these duties, they have established their emergency response centers, where, for example, all information from nuclear power plants is collected. So based on this information, they can, using the calculation tools, perform independently their evaluation, and they can again, together with all other involved in emergency response, consult discrepancies or consult nuclear power plant regarding their decision or further development of the situation. Only from that, I would like to say that our institute is involved in that activities as technical support organization, and we are involved very much in coordination of all these organizations who are involved in emergency response and preparedness in these activities. As I already said, we are actively involved in the international project funded by the European Commission, but only for 50%. Other 50% we have to find at home. And to tell the truth, in Slovakia up to now, very active in this was our Nuclear Regulatory Authority. Even if it was not their responsibility, for example, but as they had budget for that, they said, okay, we are going to that. And I would like to say that it was really very difficult if your institution has some responsibilities, and now we are going a little bit aside. It's very important to have people on board who are persuaded that if we need to do so in our republic and we have needs, we have to use all we have, all fundings, all our knowledge to fulfill this. To tell the truth, you know that Slovakia is not a big country, as I already said. We are only 5 million and we have not very many experts here. So we have to use all resources we have. Maybe only a few words regarding the importance of facilitated workshop. As usual, we are going to this facilitated workshop for 2 days, and during evening time, all together who are participating, representative from different organizations and population, they are all together. And having this, you can imagine that during preparedness phase, when people are communicated in clear situation, they know each other. And in case of a real accident, they know who is on the other side of telephone, who is the person who is responsible for this. And so these facilitated workshops, exercises, helps all involved to be familiar with procedures, to be familiar with the system, with all activities they are performing, and building of trust is very important in such activities. Okay, maybe a few words, maybe 3 minutes. No. Okay. Okay. If you have some questions, then I will go more in details.